Everybody's fucking gone except Fox News, Mark Levin,
yes,
Benny Johnson, and Dan Bongino.
Yeah, the white working class leaving.
Am I missing anyone? I mean, Rogan, you, Tucker, Candace, Tim Dillon, all the comedians, Theo Vaughn, me. Every big podcast out there is like, fuck you.
Yeah, you lied.
Fuck you.
You betrayed.
Megyn Kelly on Sean Ryan the other day was excellent. 3 hours plus. You need to check it out. Check out the full video. It's amazing. They went over some very good information, especially on MAGA and the direction of MAGA and what's happening to MAGA. As one who supported Trump, who voted for him, who thought he was going to be the one to come and fix everything. Again, just another person that was just duped, as you'll see here. Just take a listen to this.
Trump, he took $200 million from Marian Adelson. How did we think that was going to end? You know, I think we took Trump too much at his word on the, I'm not going to start any more wars, especially not Middle East wars, especially not one with Iran. We could be here for the next hour running those sound bites. We were too non-skeptical when the answers were right there. If you looked at who was backing his campaign, the biggest donor, and it wasn't just Miriam, there were many, he said her loyalty is more to Israel. Why didn't we pay more attention to that? Like, why aren't we blaming ourselves? I don't accept that there's no one we could find who wouldn't be true to the agenda he or she ran on.
200 million reasons why he's got into the sack with these people. First go around for Trump, it seemed that he had his own money and was financed by himself. But this time it looks like he took some money, and you know how politics works. It just, you owe people money or you owe people favors when they give you money, especially if they get you elected.
I am not quite that cynical yet. I'm not quite that black-pilled.
Well, that's good, because I am. but I wasn't even talking about president. I was just somebody running for Congress, Senate, whatever. I even think the president, they'll just get eaten alive by the machine. But
no, you have plenty of reason to think that.
I mean, I think there maybe is another way out, but it's going to take a lot of organization.
The best way out is to shrink government. I mean, that would be the greatest way, just to shrink it all down. Stop with the, unitary executive, shrink the president's powers. It's happening. Trump's been reduced to executive orders only. He's passed no legislation. He got his One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed. He got the Laken Riley Act passed. And everything he's done with his pen is going to be undone by the next Democrat to take over. Even if he got rid of the filibuster. Okay, get rid of the filibuster. That's all going to change as soon as the Democrats take power. All those non-filibustered bills are just going to get reversed by the next Democrat Congress.
Exactly. She's speaking truth here. What we see is when the Democrats take the House and the Senate in midterms, everything changes. Donald Trump becomes a lame duck, and that's the end of it. He should have been thinking about this instead of whatever his narcissistic mind was thinking. I have no idea what it is, but it's all about Trump. That's all it is. It's just all about
some president. So in a way, they're all shrinking themselves and how much they matter, which is great. Is there anyone sitting around thinking, if only we could have more government? Well, leftists are. No sane person is thinking that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't even trust my own intuition when it comes to politics, because I thought things were going to be so different, and I got fucking duped.
Nobody knows anything about anything. It's one of the themes of the year. The thing is, like, the Trump thing is so disappointing because he did seem like he was going to be different. He was independently wealthy, so there was some reason to believe he wasn't going to need their money or be swayed by it. He's such a fighter and a middle finger. He's a walking middle finger. So you kind of felt like maybe he won't do Miriam Adelson's bidding and he's too smart for that. Like, that's how I saw it. Like, there's no way he's going to be pressured by a lobby into reversing himself on one of his top and principal campaign promises. Like, it would be the same as continuing Joe Biden's open border policies. Like, that's how impossible it seemed that Trump would start a war. And everybody's like, he said Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. He said, his defenders say, he said that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Yes, he said that. Iran was not close to getting a nuclear weapon. Those are lies. The people who are making that justification for Trump are neocons who just, they believe in a very hawkish foreign policy. That's fine. They're entitled to their belief, but don't expect me to believe your lie, because we saw the intelligence assessment right before we launched the war saying they're nowhere near a nuclear weapon. So just stop.
Tulsi Gabbard had the information saying that there was no nuke. They were nowhere near getting one. So I don't know why they're there. I have no idea, but it's definitely seems like a ploy of Israel to get Trump to act on their behalf on going after Iran.
Okay? Stop. Don't tell me to trust the system that they're about to have it when the system has told us you're wrong. Your intel is wrong. And that's pre the June strike. Like, post the June strike, Trump is the one who told us he obliterated their nuclear weapons facilities. Pete Hegseth told us that. And now we're not allowed to believe that, or we're anti-Semites. And I believed them the first time. I actually believed them that we obliterated and repeated it and defended them when others said it was bullshit. So fuck you for telling me I'm no longer allowed to believe that. You're the ones who told me that.
Man, it's enraging. It is enraging.
It is, because it's like, who's going to be stuck with this bill? Our kids. Our kids are going to be stuck with this. And now, look at the state of the Middle East now. Look what's happening in the street. It's like, I go by the people around me, first of all, like my friend and hairstylist Sarah, who I love. She's like, I am sick of talking about the Strait of Hormuz. Because she's a normal person. She is worried. She's like, I have a good job. I make decent money and I can't get a house. And it cost me $150 to fill up my car. Yeah.
That's the problem. They don't see it at the street level, the effect that it's having on the rest of us here. They're up on their ivory towers, making their billions off the stock market, and they're not worried about us at all. And that's the problem.
Yesterday. Like, that's what a normal person sounds like. But what's happening in the Strait is causing some of those problems that she's having. And because of Trump now, we are forced to think about the Strait of Hormuz, which is in worse shape now than ever, because there's no way we're emerging from this without Iran somewhat in charge of it. There's no way. I don't believe Trump's in the Epstein files in any meaningful way. I really don't, because I think Joe Biden would have used it or gotten it out there. So why was he not only, again, we did look at this at the time. He wasn't a huge, I will release the Epstein files guy, but his base was his FBI director and deputy director for the beginning of his term were 100%.
And his vice president.
So, and his son, Trump's circle and the ones who are his campaign surrogates absolutely made a huge deal of the Epstein files. And Trump got in there and acted like he'd never heard of this before. Like, what are you even who would be talking about Jeffrey Epstein still? Absolutely not, you freaks. Like, what? It looked like an invasion of the body snatchers. Like, who do you think you're talking to? This actually is a huge issue that has a lot more to do with, it has to do with a lot more than just Jeffrey Epstein. So it was a similar 180. It felt like one to on the Iran thing. Only that one, it's him on camera making the promise.
Seems that, again, going back to that $250 million that was given to him at the beginning for his campaign, by that contribution, seems that there's a lot of people on that list that will be exposed, and it'll not be very pretty for them. And I think that's what's happening here, is that Trump is probably just protecting those people around him who have contributed, who have helped him to get to where he's at today.
This is over and over and over. But on Epstein, my best guess is it's his friends. It's his donors.
I mean, he said that. Didn't he say that to Margie Taylor Greene? I can't do anything. Or he said something along the lines, what do you want me to do? They're all my friends.
Yeah.
Well, then, all your friends are fucking pedophiles. Get rid of them.
Right.
Make new friends.
None of us gives a shit. Like, we wanted to see the names.
What?
The one good thing we have going for us there is there are a lot of angry people who have just been voted out effectively of the Senate and Congress who have 7 months left in office, like Massey. Like, there's nothing stopping him from standing on the House floor and revealing to us some of these names.
Do you think he'll do it?
Yeah, I kind of do. I mean, what does he have to lose?
Nothing. His life.
I mean, what's going to happen to John Cornyn? I don't know. Trump says he's my friend. That's Trump trying to keep him in line for the next 7 months. He's probably feeling pretty bitter about what happened to him. I don't know. There's a few who might.
I don't know who that is.
Leave with a bang.
John who?
John Cornyn? He's the one who just lost to Ken Paxton on the Senate primary down in Texas. But he's been there for multiple terms. And he's now on his way out because Trump backed his opponent, who's got a lot of ethical scandals, but who's fresh blood and a little bit more red meat of a Republican than Cornyn, who's more milquetoast and a little swampy. But who knows? I think the next 7 months are going to be kind of interesting.
What do you think about all these people resigning? Margie Taylor Greene, Joe Kent, Tulsi Gabbard.
These are the people that helped him to get to where he's at. These were allies. These were people who helped him. And just to see him just clear disregard and not taking care of them is just, it's telling. It's telling that, again, just that narcissistic, that psychopathy, all of that work in tandem together. It just, starting to see who Trump really is. And it's a shock because I didn't think this was who he really was.
I'm really sad about the MTG one. I wish I had gotten the chance to talk her out of it. And I know she had good reasons and all that, but somebody once gave me good advice. And it was, don't let your critics bully you out of a job you love. And I kind of think she was bullied by Trump out of the role because he was...
Really? You think that's what happened?
Kind of, yeah. Like he was making her life a living hell. She was getting death threats. Her kids were getting death threats. He was making her the scourge of the Republican Party as opposed to a heroine of it, which she is. Like I love her. I was so misled on MTG early on. I had such a different impression of her than I do now. I really admire her. And I wish she were still on the inside because we can't keep losing all our great people. But anyway.
I agree with you there. I thought it was a hell of a statement, though. And I was hoping somebody would do it. I was hoping somebody would trade their power for a statement.
Yeah, but like...
Because I think that's important. I mean, none of these people even have any fucking power. That's the thing.
We're just going to cede all the fights? Like, is it better for us that Joe Kent is on the outside? Hell no.
I don't know. I disagree. I think it is.
Why? Well, now we have no one.
Well, we might have. Who do you think's going to take it? Sebastian Gorka. But
stop it right now.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't think it matters. Bottles. I don't think it matters who's in there, anyways. He doesn't listen to anybody. He doesn't take any information.
Excellent observation by Sean Ryan here. He surrounds himself with yes men. He doesn't want any kind of pushback on anything. Biblically speaking, he's a fool because he will not listen to wisdom or any kind of instruction or anything like that. That is a biblical fool. He is acting like a fool.
And
I agree. He doesn't take it, but
to make a better decision. So he might as well just put a bunch of fucking his own puppets in place because that's obviously what
there hasn't been one poll that's good for him other than one CNN survey of core MAGA voters early on in the war who said they were all 100% with Trump. Well, MAGA is basically defined as you're pro-Trump. Mm-hmm. So of course they're going to go along with Trump. But MAGA is shrinking. At best, it's 19% of the electorate and or of the Republican Party. And so it's shrinking. It's shrinking in relevance. And the rest of the Republican Party is having real doubts about this war. And of course, the left is totally against it. So I think Trump is looking at his poll numbers and he understands that not only we have a 70% disapproval rating on this war and climbing, but it's driven down his approval ratings on the things that really do get people elected, like inflation and the economy. It's caused inflation. We can all see that. For the first time last month, we saw the cost of living, like the cost of wages, the wages increase was lower than the increase in inflation. One was 3.6%, one was 3.8%. So people's paychecks are literally no longer keeping up with the rises in inflation. And his approval ratings have a corresponding dip. He is way underwater on his economic approval numbers when it comes to the overall economy and certainly on inflation with everyone. All the Hispanics who came to Team Trump in 2024 are gone. Not only are they're not ambivalent, they are saying that they're going to vote for the Democrats. They are deeply disappointed in him.
Everybody's fucking gone except Fox News, Mark Levin,
yes,
Benny Johnson, and Dan Bongino.
Yeah, the white working class leaving.
Am I missing anyone? I mean, Rogan, you,
yep,
Tucker, Candace, Tim Dillon, all the comedians, Theo Vaughn, me. Every big podcast out there is like, fuck you.
Yeah, you lied.
Fuck you.
You betrayed. I mean, I'll tell you, for me, it's been a confusing time. It's been a frustrating time for most of us, I think, but I still support the basic Trump agenda. And I still really have hopes that he will get back to it, if for no other reason, out of practicality. And somebody says, what about Oman? Which is one of the proposals has been that Iran and Oman, which are the two countries that border the strait, will have some sort of agreed deal where they manage the traffic that goes through in some.
Oman is the next territory that he's looking at, of course, defriend. And he's just tearing up all good relations that we've had with other nations, especially in the Middle East over this Iranian nuke thing or the oil or Hormuz. It doesn't matter. We're losing friends fast. We're losing friends so fast, and allies and people that can help us in the future. And it's going to hurt. There's going to be what do you say? There's going to be some chaos. There's going to be a lot of chaos that stems from all this stuff that's Trump has been putting us through for the last year or so.
Way, not a toll. That's what they want. We don't want a toll, but something where they manage it, basically where they get enriched. And Trump said they'll go along or they'll get bombed too. Now we're going to bomb Oman, which is a U.S. ally with which we cooperate on many international things. But now we're going to bomb them next. Like, do they have a nuclear weapon? Why are we going to bomb Oman? Or is that loose talk? What's that? Like, that's what we're going to, because that's a friend of ours. So, we really are sending a message across the board now, but especially to those Gulf Arab states, like, we don't really care about you.
Who do we have any friends left?
Israel.
Other than
Israel's really happy with President Trump. Really happy.
He's got a 99% approval rating over there.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get the fuck out of here and move.
But I mean, what's a friend? What's an ally? It's somebody who actually cares about your interests as well, or who will at least cooperate with you to advance your interests. That's certainly what we've done for Israel. What have they done for us? How is any of this in our interests?
I'm going to be honest. I feel like the United States is just a fucking cow pasture full of cattle for Israel. We fight their wars. We die for their wars. We pay for their Iron Dome. We pay for pretty much all their missile defense. Printed a list out of all the shit they get, but
it must be.
This is going to get crazy when Sean brings up these numbers. It's almost piercing to your heart as a citizen of the United States that we're sending so much money across over there, and they're really not doing much for the Americans here.
It is, and depressing, just like everything else. But yeah, U.S. taxpayers funded defense, what America pays for. I love Claude, by the way. But
Great.
yeah, annual military aid, $3.8 billion, $38 billion in total. Current 10-year memorandum of understanding signed under Obama, including $33 billion in foreign military financing and $5 billion dedicated to missile defense systems. Covers the Iron Dome, David Sling, Arrow 2, Arrow 3, and Iron Beam laser defense. The U.S. has been a co-production partner on the Iron Dome since 2024. It's $500 million a year for that. Post October 7th emergency packages, $16.3 billion in 2 years. Total aid since 1948, $300 billion. Send all this fucking money over there. They get universal health care, free education, subsidized universities, monthly child allowances, unemployment benefits, national pension, disability benefits, maternity benefits, and housing subsidies.
JFK files or the MLK files or, the UFO files, all that stuff. And Epstein was a huge issue for a core part of Team Red. So, you could argue that Massey was holding Trump to the Trump agenda, not bucking.
See, that's what I don't understand how people don't see it that way. Every time I blast Trump or anybody in his administration or Pam Bondi, anybody about not releasing those, redacting all the names, all this shit, I get blasted by the Republicans.
So it's always important to ask who you're getting blasted by.
I mean, it could be bots, probably bots, but I can't tell.
Ooh, if it has anything to do with Israel, it's bots, for sure. But when it comes to like what you just said, there is, what's core MAGA now?
I have no idea.
I think I know. Trump has said from the beginning,
pedophile supporting Israeli lobby. Well, I have no idea.
Need a different acronym. But Trump has said from the beginning that he defines what MAGA is. MAGA is what I say it is. He has said, and he's not wrong. It's his moniker. It's his campaign slogan. And all along, he's defined what is and is not MAGA. And he told me personally, MAGA will feel the way I want them to feel. I'll tell them how to feel about this, that, or the other thing. And they will. And he has been totally right on that.
Totalitarian.
The problem for Trump now is that he has defined MAGA literally to those who agree with Mark Levin. If you don't agree with Mark Levin, you're not MAGA, which means you must be a neocon whose main issue is what's in the best interest of Israel. And that defines MAGA down to nothing. It's a nub. So what's that? It's not large. It's not important. It's not cool. It's not appealing to young people. It has no future. Much like Mark Levin himself, it's old, it's angry, and it's dying. And so those are the people who, like, the die-hard loyalists who will just feel the way Trump wants them to feel are the ones who are harassing you.
That's exactly what we see here. That's exactly what's happening. We got a totalitarian, we got a king. I hate to say that, but we got someone that is just not fit. He's not right in the mind. He's not thinking of the people. He's just thinking about himself. And that's pretty sad that this MAGA movement is just turned into just a pile of just a hot mess, we need to be thinking more America first, and hopefully we can get some leadership that'll steer this thing into that direction, because right now we're in free fall.
For saying what you think about Thomas Massey. They're entitled to their opinion, but they do not represent the Republican Party. They don't represent the right, and they definitely don't represent the future.
Well, I don't even know what the Republican Party is anymore.
Yeah,
nobody stands up for anything.
It's unclear.
Not inside. All these people I thought were Republicans on the outside are standing up against it, but nobody on the inside is, except the people that are resigning and Massey.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the Pete Hegseth fucking went down there to campaign against him. What is that shit? Did he forget he started a fucking war?
Yeah. That was so highly irregular.
What the fuck was that? Is that even legal?
It's legal, but it's...
Because as a military member, you can't be doing shit like that.
And we have never, like in modern history, I think it's fair to say, I can't think of another example, have we deployed the Secretary of Defense, or now War, for a specifically political mission, right? Like we've always tried not to do that because it's important that our military have the support of all parties, that they not be seen as a politicized group. And I think the Pentagon tried to justify it by saying, oh, he was going down there on multiple items. You know, it wasn't just to sink Massey. That's tough to swallow. And it's like so much with the Trump presidency, it's a bridge we shouldn't have crossed. Like there are certain norms and protocols that are good, that are there for a reason, to maintain some faith in institutions. And you can make a very strong case that faith in the Department of War is at the top of the list. People need to believe that that's not a corrupt organization or one that only fights for one side of the aisle. And we need to keep the troops out from that kind of scrutiny too. And it starts at the top. So it was wrong. They should not have deployed him in the fight against Massey.